here. They wanted to be a part of this process. I got a chance to announce to them earlier this year in a very tearful day to tell them that we were going to be opening a school, and they were like, yes, and I said, but it's in Pennsylvania. They're like, why? But they have come up here to be a part of this process, and you guys actually get a chance to hear some of them speak tonight, to share their testimony about what Teach from DeHart has done in South Carolina and what it can do in the city of Arnold and beyond. So with gaining a world-class education, our students will not only be pushed high academically, high socially, but we also want to give them a chance to travel domestically and internationally. The reason why is that when you learn about something, it's better to see it than to just see it in a textbook. And these students have had the chance to do that in South Carolina, as well as you can see flying up here to Pittsburgh to see the city and experience some of that. Going alongside that, we want to engage the parents. Today, we have the students from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. From 4 to 5:30, extracurriculars. That keeps them engaged in school. That keeps them off the street. And it keeps their parents, gives their parents a chance to come home from work and not have to worry about what their child is doing from the hours of 2 to 6 p.m. With those, at the end of that day, we wrap up at 5:30, and then the parents get a chance to come in and actually experience the adult learning program we're going to have. So we want to help these parents in the area who do not have a high school diploma gain a GED, job training, as well as technology training for the 21st century workforce. When we do that, we hope to see the parents engaged with their child's education, the kids engaged with their parents' education, and both sides of the aisle come together in order to make a complete family unit. With that, we do have some renderings today of the building and what it is going to look like. We did purchase the building at 1704 4th Avenue. We have been so blessed with that process. If I told you the whole story, you'd think it was a complete miracle, but I'm going to save you the details for right now, okay? It really has been a wonderful opportunity for us. And with that being said, I do want to show you the what the academy is set to look like. So we all know that school building, okay, and what it looks like currently. Our goal, sorry, you kind of out of view, right here, purview. We've got pamphlets as well we can pass out. But as you see, we're going to be adding an extension onto the academy. Here's the reason why. We want to give an Ivy League feel in the middle of Arnold, Pennsylvania. When these students walk up to this campus, they get to be excited about where they're going to school. They get a chance to feel pride in what they're doing. And the school presents that from the moment they walk in the door. The teachers feel pride in the building that they're going to see. As you see here on the front, we will have a fence along the entire campus. On that fence, there's an archway at the middle, and it says DeHart Academy with our logo. Our logo is a heart with a tie in the middle. Reason why is because my last name is DeHart, okay? And I always wear a tie to school to teach every day. So I did that, and now you see our students in ties. I did not force them to do that. That was by choice. They have taken that upon themselves to dress for success, to believe in themselves. They call it DeHart Wednesday in South Carolina, where every Wednesday they're in dresses, ties, nice clothes. So that explains the logo. But the cool part about this is that when you see the pamphlets, we can pass those out. We'll pass those out to you. You'll get to see that there's some writing in this fence. And it's our motto. Create opportunities, develop goals, change lives. We want to create opportunities for these students and their parents. We want to help them develop goals and execute those goals. We want to change their life in the process with everybody engaged. I do have my team here. Okay, I have my core team, which is myself, Cameron McKennedy, who's our Assistant Director of Operations, and Chris David. Some of y'all might know Chris. He is a Arnold native. I married his daughter. So that's how, there's the Arnold connection. You're probably like, where did this guy come from to get to Arnold? I married his daughter, and immediately when I came up here 6 years ago, I felt pride in the city, and I wasn't even from here. I'm from a small town in South Carolina that has a lot of pride in itself. I see a lot of things going on here. It happened 10 years ago in South Carolina as well. And so with that being said, I want them to have a chance to present their side of it as well, and then the children, and then I will wrap it up if that is okay with everybody. I'd like to give the floor to Cam to speak just very briefly.
Hello everybody, hello. I'm Cameron McKennedy, or Cam McKennedy, and I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'm a teacher, and I will be coming along with Mr. DeHart to be his Assistant Director of Operations. So obviously a lot of people have asked me, Cam, why do you want to do this? Why are you a teacher? They don't get paid any money, which I know now. But why do you do what you do? Like, what is the purpose of what you do? And I've never been asked any of these why questions until I became an educator. But for a short answer of why I do what I do, it's because I want to not only be a positive role model to the students that are coming up next, but I also want to be that person or be in a position to set them up for success and what life is today. And so with what the Academy is doing, what the Teach from DeHart Academy will offer, they're allowing me to step into my purpose, to be more than just a classroom teacher, which is nothing wrong with being a classroom teacher at all. But I get to do more than that. And then also, the thing is, that is why I'm gonna pack up all of my stuff from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I'm gonna move right up here to Arnold, Pennsylvania, along with Matt DeHart, because I believe in this mission and I believe in this goal for sure. And I won't keep you long, but I do want to give you a little bit of my testimony. So, as we know, Arnold, it's a higher poverty town, which is nothing wrong with that. That does not mean that you don't deserve to have revitalization in your town. We don't want to bring revitalization by throwing money out and just giving businesses money, giving the town money. Yes, we love money, but at the same time, you don't truly learn and get that learning opportunity that you could get like what we're trying to do. We want to revitalize this city through education. So that means we want to we don't want to dumb it down like people are doing in the education system now, that's how the government is doing it now. But we want to challenge them. We not only want to challenge them, but we want them to understand that they can be whatever they want to be. And so by that being said, just like Mr. DeHart said in his speech before, we don't want to just teach them about the White House and the history book. Teach them about South Africa, just reading about it in the book, see a couple pictures. Wow, okay, you kind of get what they're going through. No, you don't, not at all. But we want to be able to let them travel domestically, internationally, let them actually see what their living situations are like. We want them to actually see, oh, the White House is like this. This is how the things work in the White House. Oh, Mount Rushmore, instead of in the book, I want to take them to go see those things. And that's what we're going to do at the Academy. But also, the thing being said is that this is a time that, sorry, it's pretty emotional. But as you see, we talk about the students a lot with the Academy, but the difference with our model is we want to touch the whole family unit and we want to hit the parents and adults as well in the community. Because the thing is, we don't only want the students to be able to be successful, but I can't countless times I've saw parents complain about, I don't know how to help my kid with homework. How do I tutor my kid? How do I actually do the things that they're learning? Or I might want these life skills that I wasn't taught when I was younger, and how am I going to teach my kid this? We want to give them those same opportunities, just like anybody else that's living in the suburbs or somewhere else. We want to give the same kids that are here to have those same opportunities as well. So the thing that reached me the most and what made me want to come along with this is I grew up in poverty myself. I grew up in poverty, and for my early years, I did not have my father in my life as well. And so just thinking about the Academy and what it's going to do to this town, I'm just seeing what my life could have been like with something like this around me. And if I had the resources and if I had the opportunity to go to an academy or spend my time here every day, my life could have been completely different, and even for my parents. Like, they could have had the life lessons taught to them at the academy. I'm just thinking of so many different opportunities that could have been different for them. But things happen, and that's why I see so much potential in what we're doing. So like I said, I don't want us to just come here, throw money at you, give you money for your businesses and revitalize the area through money. But we want to do it through education so that they can actually be successful in the workplace and have somewhere to be. And we want them to know they can be whatever they want to be. So we appreciate you all for giving us this time to speak with you all, and thank you.
Chris David is our chief engineer, my father-in-law. It worked out, guys. When I got married, it didn't matter that he was an engineer back then, but now it really, really matters. So it worked out. But I do want to give Chris a chance to talk about the building, talk about the renderings in a little bit more detail, and then I'm going to have 4 of my students speak, and then we will be done. Okay. Thank you guys so much.
I'm going to talk less than all of them. I know you got a long agenda. Here is what we have presented here on the board. We have them in 11 by 17, so anybody wants to take a closer look at things, they can come up and get that after the meeting. I appreciate the introduction. Yeah, my name is Chris David. I am lifetime, Valley. That's where I grew up. went to grade school at Greenmall Elementary, went to the junior high on the Hill, and went to Valley High School. Been here my whole life, and I'm old enough to have seen better days for New Kensington and Arnold. I don't know if that's the right term, but I've seen it. I think I've seen it a little bit better financially, I can remember that. And my son-in-law coming up here, he came up and he was driving around one day and he says, "Oh, well, I was driving around your town. I saw this empty school building. I want to start a school." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And he was, and he said, "Well, what do you think about the building?" And I said, "Well, I'd be glad to take a look at it for you." So, so I'm the lucky or unlucky relative that has building experience that'll help us with the building process. So we did our due diligence on the building. The building turned out to be a very nice building. It needs work, but it's definitely got good bones. It's a masonry structure built in the 20s. Very nice building that we're going to convert into a school, which it was a school before. So just to point out a couple things, we've been working with Kansi and Johnson down in New Kensington on preliminary design for the school. And here's the first pass at what we were doing. Matt explained the front, the Ivy League feel. The first part is we're going to be putting a little bit of an addition on the front to handle the admin space right in the front door, right in the front of the building, which you can see here in these views here and in this view here. And what you also will notice that there's 2 floors above that. Each window is a classroom. So there's 4 in the front and 4 in the back. So you have 8 classrooms. And Matt's mission or Matt's vision is to be able to teach 5th through 8th grade in this school. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited that that he married my daughter, and I have the right experience at the right place at the right time to be able to help, and and really it really gives me a chance to be involved and help the community, which is really exciting for me. My town, so my town is going to be his town now too. So I appreciate that, and what we've come to do, I really want to show off is the kids. So I want to get out of the way and let the kids speak for a minute. So thank you.
First student I have, his name is Parker Israel. Parker's going to come up and give a speech again, just a little testimony about what teaching DeHart has meant for him and what we've been able to do in South Carolina.
Hello everyone, my name is Parker Israel, and I just wanted to give you some inside information of my 5th grade year with Mr. DeHart. So in our 5th grade class, we were given the opportunity to take things to the next level. We went on pod trips. These trips would consist of 4 different students in his class and Mr. DeHart. On these trips, we would go on different trips as of zip lining or hiking or anything else. And after on our trip, we would go to lunch, and Mr. DeHart would tell us how to order and how to tip. Mr. DeHart would help to ensure that we were showing good etiquette using our manners. One of the most important piece of etiquette was how to introduce ourselves with eye contact and a firm handshake. We have learned so many different things. For example, how to write a resume, how to apply for a job, and what is needed for a good interview. Every Wednesday was called DeHart Wednesday, as Mr. DeHart said. The boys would always wear a suit and tie, and the girls would wear dresses. I really loved DeHart Wednesday because Mr. DeHart and the other students would compare who could dress the best. Everyone strived to look their best and carry themselves to a high standard. Mr. DeHart always taught us to be the best versions of ourselves, not just in school, but in our everyday lives. The city of Arnold is lucky to get an amazing, caring, and loving community leader. Mr. DeHart prides himself in helping others.
All right, our next person is going to be Gracie Wagner.
Good evening, and I'm Gracie Wagner, and I'm so thankful for y'all letting me have this opportunity of being here tonight. I'm also really thankful for Mr. DeHart for giving me this opportunity. which is also one thing I enjoy about his class, is that he always gives us opportunities to do things, such as letting us stretch ourselves out to let us get out of our comfort zone and to just strive as much as we can. Who would ever think I would ever be here in Arnold giving a speech in December of 2022? To be honest, I would have never thought I would have been here without Mr. DeHart and him getting me here. But a quick trip down memory lane. This time last year, I was waiting anxiously to know who my 5th grade teacher was going to be. Whenever I found out it's Mr. DeHart, Miss Washburn, I was so excited. Like, I couldn't wait until school started. Before I hit 5th grade, I never wanted to go to school. I hated school. It was the worst thing. 5th grade was my favorite year. I haven't gotten sick within like 3 years. I missed one day of school. I was upset. I was asking my mom to FaceTime my teacher to let me at least see what's there and what they're doing. On the first day of school, I knew it was going to be a really tough year, but I was so excited for this challenge. I was ready. Mr. DeHart started the first day off with a student contract with rules and expectations. We read through it, we signed it, and so did he. To be honest, some of them were kind of silly, but now I know why he did this. Our class stood out from all the other classes in our whole school and probably our community. We got to go on pod trips like Parker Israel was saying and Mr. DeHart was saying, and it's kind of like we're currently on, but just in our local area. Mr. DeHart, on my pod trip, Mr. DeHart was able to take me and my best friend Malia, that's gonna be speaking earlier. Well, after me probably. But we got to go on a tour of Bob Jones University. We got to go to dinner, and he got to tell me how to order my food properly and give a 10% tip, whether it's good service or bad service. As a student, I've grown so much. I've gotten to learn how to have a conversation with an adult, and how he's taught me that it's important to have eye contact and how to be engaged in the conversation and to have a firm handshake with whoever I meet. Another way I grew was he challenged us to strive for excellence. He's always told us that whatever we put our mind to, we can do it. As you can see, he also told himself that, you know what, I'm gonna have a foundation. He has a foundation, and it's better than ever. He has so many kids that are supporting it, and as you can see, he was able to fly all of us to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and now he's creating his own academy that it was his dream. Two things that he's always told us to never say in his classrooms were, I don't know, because you will always know, and it's impossible. We have had so many projects in his class. He's always asked us and urged us to be creative. And a lot of us were really creative, and it was so much fun. Mr. DeHart has always taught in such a fun way, and he's always animated it. Whether he's stomping on a stage, or he's dancing, or he's on top of a table dancing and teaching, or he jumps on top of a table, or we're playing musical chairs.
We will have sturdy desks.
But we've got to play games that you would have never thought a class would ever play in a school, and we were going over test reviews so that way we can make good scores. So many teachers have complimented us on our manners, our academic scores, and the involvement around our school and extra activities. And Mr. DeHart has always taught us to always do our research. And so you know what? Me and my dad did our research for this speech. I got a little something off y'all's website, and I would like to say for the Arnold City Council and for Mr. DeHart, this will be a proud school in a proud city full of proud people. Thank you.
Next student is going to be Malia Delgado. to compete in Atlanta, Georgia this year at a national competition against 150 students from across the country. She placed in the top 40 as a 5th grader, and the rest were 8th graders. So.
Well, I just want to say, thanks to Gracie, now I'm known as Gracie's best friend. Well, hello, my name is Malia Delgado, and I'm here today to talk to you about my 5th grade experience as a student of Mr. DeHart. It was the most challenging, but rewarding year I've ever had. I can stand here telling you how I was academically challenged and pushed, and I was, but I think that's only part of what makes the DeHart experience one of a kind. What truly makes this style of teaching special is all the things outside of academics that you learn. For example, how to be a better person. Our character and how we carry ourselves matters just as much as grades. He stressed the importance of good manners and expects us to use them. We learn to use people's names and look them in the eye with good eye contact as we speak. Confidence is key, he always said. He taught us how to have a firm handshake, change a tire, write a check, order our food, learn how to tip, and that's pretty much it. He also taught us that we're a family. We will encourage each other, we'll clap for one another, and we'll make sure that we're doing the right thing and hold each other accountable. He said it's important to dress for success, which everyone said already, so it's not as important anymore. And he encouraged us to dress up on what we call DeHart Wednesday. He set the expectation so high, but gave us space to think outside the box, get creative, and go big, which some people did a lot of this year.
Yes, you did.
Our voice always mattered. We debated hot topics, discussed the news, and explored history. He always made everything relatable and fun. We are better communicators because we were expected to seek and track when others were talking. That means to follow along and have good eye contact. I love that Mr. DeHart believes kids should experience educational opportunities outside of the classroom. If it weren't for the Teach from the Heart Foundation, I would not have been able to attend a professional soccer game, learn how to order my own food, and tip the waitress, explore a local university, and compete in a national competition with 150 other 5th through 8th grade students all over the world. I would not have flown to Atlanta, Georgia, and I would never have seen the Georgia Aquarium and explored the Coca-Cola Museum. Had a proclamation given to me by the mayor of our town, nor would I have the privilege to stand before you today. I'm so grateful for the life skills, leadership opportunities, networking, and introduction to potential careers that was provided to me by Mr. DeHart and his foundation. The city of Arnold is getting a gem. Only she's the best. Mr. DeHart, you are the very best. I'm so thankful to be here and be a part of your dream coming true. Thanks for carrying beyond the four walls, for loving us and challenging us both academically and personally. I'm a better person because of you. You will be missed, but always talked about. To all those in attendance, thank you for taking the time to be here and giving me the opportunity to speak to you.
Our last student speaker today is Bryson LeDuc, last but certainly not least.
Hello everyone, how is everyone doing? That's great to know, but hello everybody. I am a developed student from Mr. DeHart's classroom, and before we continue, may we give him a round of applause for doing all of this. And as Gracie mentioned, in our classroom, we do really insane stuff as in standing on the table tables to jumping.
Sturdy desks, guys.
But I want to introduce how more interesting it is inside of the classroom other than the dirtiness. One thing I would like to say is how he plays games with us, and I don't mean Fortnite, Monopoly, or Joker, but I mean educational games. And as Gracie mentioned, again, musical chairs. So we would spend about 3 minutes taking notes, then the musical chairs part would come in. You couldn't get out, but if you did not sit in a chair in enough time, you would have to do challenges like doing the Macarena. I have to do the Macarena. But anyways, I've talked about how he does games with us. I want to talk about how he teaches us a lot better than most students. Mr. DeHart doesn't just open notes and just make you read them and write them down. He actually teaches the notes. And going back to the social studies notes, he actually explained what happened during the timeline. I also want to mention about how he acts with manners. In Mr. DeHart's classroom, manners are taken to a whole nother level, in a good way, of course. But this is required as yes or no. You can't use that unless you're using yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, or no ma'am. But that is the only way you can use yes or no. The other thing I would like to say is DeHart Wednesday, which almost all of us have mentioned, which is on Wednesday, where you wear fancy clothes. I've talked about how manners are capable of Mr. DeHart's classroom, but I want to talk about my personal experience in this classroom. Mr. DeHart teaches from the heart. Get it? 'Cause DeHart? But anyways, he teaches from the heart, and when I say that, I'm not exaggerating because his name is legit DeHart. But I mean, he teaches from the heart. Last year, I would never be up here. I would walk out, I would be like, bye. But I am here as also known as the Confidence King and presenting here. I'd like to thank all of you for being here and letting me do this speech. Thank you.
So, I know some of you are probably thinking, how much did he pay them? What did he? Actually, I refuse to see any of those. So they've been working on those speeches for about a month, and I said, don't send them to, I don't want to see it. Because I want it to be truly from them. They have done that. These are things that we work on every day. They have to present. They have to get up in front of the class. We invited educators to come into our building, superintendents to come into our classroom and see what's this class that has a 30% higher test score rate than the rest of the district. What's going on here? These kids. They spoke about the passion, the intentionality, the things that we do. Yes, we're very dedicated to that with what we want to do. But these kids are excellent, and these type of students are right here in this community as well. And that's what we're trying to reach. So where do we go from here? This is the last thing, as I'll say, is my goal here is to make connections. I am in South Carolina. I'm still working in South Carolina the next 2 years teaching as an administrator down there, getting some more experience in that side of things. I will be up here as much as possible. I want to meet people. I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand, talk to you. If you have questions, I want to answer them. That's what I, as well as Mr. McKinney, are here to do, and Chris. We're here to engage in the community. Connections are key in this business. This will be a nonprofit private school where our students will be on scholarship. We project that almost every student in our building will be on scholarship. And so with that being the case, we have to raise the funds. We've already raised enough funds to own this building debt-free. We've done that right off the bat. We've shown we can do that. But if you have connections, you have people, businesses, generous individuals who are ready to revolutionize education, starting right here in Arnold, Pennsylvania, please connect us. Talk to me. Share that opportunity. We want to be able to be a part of that. You can also learn more about us at teachfromdehart.org. That's our website. You can see many photos of trips as well as more information on the Academy. With all that, I thank you for your time, and I hope that we get a chance to create opportunities, develop goals, and change lives here.